I'm telling you, man, when I don't think they could do any worse, Congress just steps up to the plate and says, please, pick me. I'm going to do worse than what you thought. Wait till you hear what they've done. It's amazing that we were trying to get rid of judges and the funding of those judges that were overstepping their boundaries, like Boasberg. Remember some of those judges that were literally stopping the movement of what Trump was doing with executive orders? Well, the Republicans just decided to fund them. Not only that, do you remember how Doge slept on the floor 20 hours a day? One of the biggest things they said not to fund was what they called NED, N-E-D. Well, guess what? Republicans said, forget that. Let's just fund it. Wait till you hear what else they choose to fund. I mean, we're building bridges. We're building walls. Not in America, though. Your Congress is worthless. Your Senate is worthless. They're not helping the president at all, and the president is fuming. And the question is, will he come back to the table and say, no, I'm not voting for any of this trash. I'm going to veto it. We're going to discuss all that because it's mind-blowing. Also, we're going to talk about what Glenn Beck just said. Glenn Beck, brought the story out just saying, again, remember those 87,000 agents, these IRS agents that were supposed to keep us from having fraud and having all these expenditures of all this waste of millions and billions? That's what we hired them for. You know, Doge found billions, but we hired all these 87,000 IRS agents to fix all this, right? Somehow the fraud got worse. So don't you think the people that we hired and paid with our tax dollars would have they probably found the fraud? Why are we paying all these people to not do a job? Why do we pay all these people and give all this money away when nothing happens and Americans are the ones holding the bag? I'm sick and tired of paying taxes. What about you? Also, we're going to talk about military. Now, there was two major warnings just yesterday. One was America was going to strike Iran, and at the 11th hour, at the very end of the day, when this strike was supposed to go on, Trump stopped it. Now, there could be a negotiation. That could have been the whole purpose, trying to get negotiations done with Iran. It also was words that Iran was moving a lot of its money out of the country because of these strikes. So it was something that was thought to be imminent. Also, Putin came out and stated this. He says, if the UK in U.S., but he said, if the U.K. does not back away from the Ukrainian situation, he said, I will nuke them. Tucker Carlson, who somehow has all these ties with Qatar and Russia, he came out and stated that Russia has plans to go ahead and nuke the U.K. Are we ready for all that war? Because that's exactly what would happen. Let's dive into all these stories today and so many more. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much for being here. If you are new, please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. It means the world to us and helps us spread our message across this platform. Remember to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We have accounts on all those. A lot of things we share, dealing with our farm, dealing with our children, dealing with different things going on in our life. Real quick, late breaking stories that we couldn't get to in the video, we start releasing those. So please follow us on this platform so that way you'll be up to date on what goes on for sure. Now, thank you again for being a part of our life. Thank you for praying for my son through all the things that was going on. Go check out Life of Kobe Mac channel or Misty Mac. We're talking about what we've been dealing with Jennings, and you're welcome to follow on that journey. Now, let's jump into the stories of the day. First, let's talk about this situation with Congress and how they have blown it. And I don't know how to say it any different other than they're a waste of time. They're a waste of your money and a waste of everything that you wanted and hold near and dear to in this country. Now, you think I'm crazy. I want you to listen to this. This is from Tim Burchett. Tim Burchett was fuming, and so was Eli Crane, about the dirty spending that's passed today in Congress. Now, these are Republicans talking about their own Republican counterparts. In a total of whopping $90.1 billion, we're sending $1.4 billion to build something in Egypt. We don't even know what it is. We're building a wall and bridge and firing missiles to Jordan. We're giving tons of billions for that. We're spending $6.15 billion on foreign military financing programs. For what? It makes no sense to me why we're doing this. Oh, guess what? By the way, did you know that the government just refunded and gave money to Planned Parenthood? What did I tell you the other day about when we expose darkness and all of a sudden we still then kowtow to it and we still then approve of these things? We are setting ourselves up for a major wrath, and we're not humbling ourselves and trying to fix the problem. So under the hidden guise of that we're protecting children, we're protecting people, we're protecting and not getting rid of your money, we're government funding Planned Parenthood still. Did you know that? This was from Eric Doherty. It says, breaking, the House just voted to keep NED funding. NED. This is an NGO called National Endowment for Democracy. All it is a filter for fraud and Democrats. No joke. Seriously, listen. It says, this was trying to be defeated by Elon Musk, Mike Pence, Eli Crane, and several more. 81 Republicans joined all the Democrats to keep this funding there. This funding is given. This is what funds, now listen now, NED is what funds all this censorship around the world about free speech and all. This is the program that stops all that movement across the world. This is also the funding that gets filtered to the NGOs to then turn around and give to Democrats and kickbacks back to Democrats. I want you to listen to what was said by Matt Von Swole. It says, so let me get this straight. Doge spent 20 hours a day since January 20th sleeping on the floor to find waste and fraud. NED was one of the biggest ones they found. Elon Musk said this was one of the biggest ones. Again, like the foreign aid situations, a lot of this, the AID, if you remember the USAID, all that was tied into the same thing of being extremes amounts of fraud going back to laundering situations and the Democrat Party. And listen, it says, Doge said to freeze it. Elon says to get rid of it because of the waste. And today, the GOP, just like that, gave them $315 million. It's just unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. Again, whatever the government tells us and regulates us to do, it never works out. I want you to listen to this. This has nothing to do with the funding, but this has to do with everything the government touches when it comes to our money is a waste. Listen to what this lady said. She says, my mom and dad had just died. My mom just died. My father died a few months back. It says my mom and dad paid roughly over $1 million in combined Social Security throughout their lives. This is not counting the tax. She said on top of that, probably 50% of the income was several millions of dollars that they paid in tax. Okay? You got me. So they paid several millions in tax. They paid over $1 million in combined Social Security. Her dad died, and her mom only collected 4 years' worth of $32,000 per year. She said the combined amount of value they got back from paying in millions of dollars into taxes and over $1 million in Social Security was $128,000 combined. Now, I'll stop here. This is why I'm so against Social Security. And not against you being on it. I'm not saying that. But the whole project. It's a socialist program. Think about this. If we did the Trump plan where they gave to babies $1,000, and I've already set up funds for my children to where we're contributing a little bit every month. If the government would allow you to opt out of Social Security, your money that you're putting in there is mandated. So say you said, I have to pay this amount of percentage to Social Security. Instead of paying to Social Security, I have to pay into a fund. If you paid into the same fund, into a different, into an equities fund or S&P fund, do you realize not only would it gain 10 times probably the value of your Social Security, at least 6 times, because they're saying graduated percentage of Social Security is 4%. So if you said the average S&P was 9.5 to 10%, so say it gave 6 times the value of Social Security. Let's just say that roughly. Not only that, the government doesn't just take your money when all of a sudden you pass away. Your family gets it. See, here's what you don't understand. We're paying into a broken system for them to rob us blind. It's not our money. I said this yesterday on a post on Facebook. We have over 30 different taxes that we pay. From gas tax, sales tax, fish tax, license tax, all these different privilege tax, city tax, property tax, state tax. I mean, the list is unbelievable. Then on top of that, you have to pay dues and permit fees and licensures and other things for building for all these different permits that you're wanting. The average American pays over 50% of their money in tax. Then you add the Social Security, which is another 5 to 10%. So therefore, 40% of your day you're working for yourself, 60% of the day you're working for the government. And to then not to get the benefit at all. So when we see bills like this, and when Elon Musk and some of these nicer congressmen that are actually trying to do something are telling you this is a waste. We're giving to people to stop the movement of what Trump's doing. We're giving to companies that are known to be launderers. We're giving money to foreign governments that actually don't like us. We're giving billions to them. And we still do it, and the government approves it. It just blows my mind that we're doing this. Now again, before we go to these other stories, think about this. Glenn Beck said it perfectly. I want to read his comment because again, we forget. We're so quick in the news that we forget what actually happens. Glenn Beck said this. It says the Democrats hired 87,000 IRS agents to fix all this. And it was not to go after you, remember, it was meant to go after all these big companies, all these big conglomerates, all these NGOs, all this frivolous fraud. But again, we see they missed all this insane fraud in Minnesota. They've also missed all this fraud with all the NGOs. So why are we hiring 87,000 agents? What are we doing with this money, and where's this money going? Yet the government cannot tell us one thing. Now, like we said, we have all this money filtering out here. We're supposed to have all these things set in place to keep us safe and keep our money safe. But it's not happening. My goal is this. I want to see a flat tax. I want to see the government not go broke, but I want them to fix the problems. You know, Argentina, we gave money to Argentina, if you remember, like a $20 billion, kind of like a line of credit. Argentina's trying to fix their problems. They got so broke so quick, inflation was at 200%. Guess what happened? He cut tons of people. It was like 30 or 40% of the people that work for the government. People thought he was crazy. We gave him $20 billion of a line of credit. He only used $2 billion of it, and guess what? He's already paid it back. We made tens of millions of dollars in the Trump administration. That's how smart the Trump administration is. They did the business transaction. All of a sudden, we got more money. Argentina's better off, and all of a sudden now they're sitting in a place where we should be, where we're trying to strengthen our own money. Instead, our Congress and our Senate just likes to waste your money. You should fire them. You should fire them. You should fire them and primary every one of them. Don't let them kowtow you and tell you how great they're doing of a job. They're worthless. They're not doing anything for you. And actually what they did with this bill, they passed the funding for the judges that go after Trump. Guess what? So therefore, Trump's policies are going to be held up because now the funding is there for these judges to keep on holding the President of the United States up. And these judges were appointed by Obama and Biden. Now let's go to the next story. This is where, again, we're supposed to be kept safe. We're supposed to be the best country in the world. We're supposed to have all this money sitting here to protect us, all this defense. But your Congress and Senate just keep sending money all over the seas. They keep sending all our defense all over the seas. Listen to what happened just last night. Breaking, Trump enters emergency Iran meeting with full national security team. Rubio, Hegseth, Radcliffe, Gabbard, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, VP Vance. And it was where Trump said this is a very important meeting that's got to take place. And we've got to figure out what goes on. Now, there was supposed to be a quote-unquote strike. Now, if you remember, Lindsey Graham and all these neocons were like, look, we're going to strike Iran. It's going to happen yesterday. Well, it didn't. It's at the 11th hour Trump stopped it because he believed there was something that we needed to discuss. Now, we don't know that. We're not privy to that. But were they playing a game of chicken, and why did we stop that attack? Now, I don't believe we should be attacking. I mean, I know that. We're not supposed to be going to forever wars. Here's the reason I think that was probably wise. There was a new report that said that if Trump does strike Iran, Russia said they would help Iran come after America. That goes along with what just came out of Douglas McGregor and Tucker Carlson sources. It says that Russia is preparing to possibly nuke the UK and Germany. Because of the situation with them pushing for more war with Ukraine, Russia has had enough, and they're going to start targeting all these players that's giving money to Ukraine. This is from Douglas McGregor. It says, top Putin advisor sends shockwaves, says the Ukraine war continues. We will come after Germany and UK with a nuclear warhead. Now think about that for a second. That's not just an open threat. That is just simply saying, we're done. We're done with all this. Then this is from Putin himself. Moscow sends a stark warning to Washington. Russia declares war on anyone, especially if the U.S. strikes in Iran. This would be completely unacceptable and would be a monumental mistake with disastrous consequences. Again, that's from all the comments from Russia. Again, guys, what are we doing? Midnight meetings, we're worried about striking over there, we're giving money to the Middle East. Why can't we just simply take care of Americans? Why can't we simply have Senate and Congress that actually wants to represent us? Why are people so money hungry and so power hungry that we can't just simply have good leaders? It's mind-blowing to me. I mean, listen to this. Another story dealing with, chances of war. The United States is rapidly redeploying several ships, including the U.S. Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group, out to the South China Sea, streaming full speed ahead towards the Middle East as U.S. prepares to unleash major strikes on Iran. Now again, this could be big games of chicken. This could be 3D, 4D, 5D, whatever you want to say, chess. But this is what I really want. This is what I want. This is so easy. Cut my taxes. Cut the regulation. Cut the spending. Fire the congressman. Fire the Senate. If they're career politicians making millions of dollars, they need to be fired. They should not be in leadership whatsoever. We need to get rid of the judges. They need to be impeached. We need to get rid of the filibuster so we can actually pass bills in the Congress and Senate. And we actually need to see people doing their job. We need to cut the waste, fraud, and abuse and arrest people. What is so hard? All those things I just said are all very easy and can easily be done. But because our bureaucracy and our swamp is so big, none of it will get done. And we're honestly going down the drain so quick, so fast. Well, here we are trying to stabilize our dollar. Here we are, Trump's trying to gain money in tariffs and money coming back in, and yet we want to give to Planned Parenthood. Yet we want to give to Egypt and Jordan. Now, what's so funny is you don't hear all the woke right getting all mad about that. They always get mad about Israel, but they're not getting mad about all the other money they're giving away. We shouldn't be giving any money to anybody. It's like this. If I had someone that was a homeless man living on the side of my street, after a while, I can give him only so many burgers. I can give him only so much money. I can only help him so much. If he doesn't want to help himself, I can't do anything to help him anymore. I'm done. I'm cutting him off. Why in the world are we still funneling billions of dollars to all these other countries that can't take care of themselves? If they can't take care of themselves, they're all rich countries over there. If they can't take care of themselves, or they have to have our money to like us, then you know what? Who cares? Let them go. Sorry. I want to see America thrive. I want to see Social Security fixed. I want to see taxes gone. I want to see regulation gone. I want to see worthless people get out of office. But it's going to take us humbling ourselves, us asking for forgiveness, us seeking guidance and wisdom, and actually doing the job of the American people and holding our leaders accountable. That's what needs to happen. You know, Glenn Beck can talk till he's blue in the face about the 87,000 agents. They were never hired to find fraud. They were hired to find your $600 Venmo account. They were hired to find more money from you. Guess what? I'll pay in taxes this year. After paying in so many taxes this year, I'll pay in more taxes. Not because of any reason other than they'll find something that I'll need to pay. And I've already paid in about 40-something% of my income. That's not counting all the little license permits and taxes that I have to pay on the side here, like my $37,000 property tax. You know what? I'm sick and tired of it. And until we get better leaders, I mean, Mike Johnson, after losing two different votes last night, he comes out and states, we're fighting for the American people. This is what the president wanted. Now, he says that because he wants to smooth and lie to you. It's a bunch of con men, guys. Wake up. Wake up. Guys, pray for our nation. It needs it. And you better start stockpiling and preparing because, man, it's biblical. Wars and rumors of wars are here. And we cannot allow for the American to just fall by the wayside because we're not knowledgeable on history and wisdom and trying to find guidance ourselves. Let me know your thoughts for today's video. God bless.